Hello, good morning. Well, it's here in Australia anyway. And we're just waiting for the other one to kick in, and then we will do our timing, divine lining. I am Brenda Jean Power. I am a medicine woman, and this is Medicine Woman Solution Show. What is it that we do? Hold on, we need to mute a few things here. And what is it that we need to do? We need to get ready and prepared for this fifth dimension, this new earth, this new way of speaking. I remember years ago, and you heard about, without realizing it, you are being prepared. Your soul is being prepared. It's helping you. Your ego, on the other hand, may just decide it wants to go crazy and wants to fight and do whatever it is that it feels that it needs to do because it's inside the program. It's inside your soul. You beamed in, and this is what you're doing. And you're beaming into this meat suit, and this is part of the matrix. But the matrix is made up of many different levels, many different things. What you're going to find out is that we're going to be shifting paradigms, belief systems, values. We're going to shift to the point where awakening is that we're not just getting up and doing our daily dues and taking our daily shitfalls and always being into shit storms. And it's funny because as we look at the beginning of this future, a bunch of energy come in, another light wave came in, and then you have something called the coronavirus. Now, metaphysically, corona is crown. And I did a show already on this, but what it is that our crown chakra is opening a little bit further, some of the vorticiousness. So to move out of the old level of consciousness, that old level of the old earth. And that means that we are going to wake up to remember the things that we were or what we did or how we move or how we do things. Okay? To resist change, the more you're going to fall for how ego says change is hell, change is bad, change is inappropriate. No, we don't like change. It's going too fast. There's just all, however you define it. Changes are constant. Change is something that will always be here. And you change and you age and chronologically change every single time your cells die and reproduce. And you don't really complain about that. You change your thoughts. And a lot of those people that stick and worry believe that worry is the best thing for them because they're a program. Why? Now, they may not like the loop, but it's a program. It's what you learned as a coping tool to help you solve whatever issue at whatever age you were at any given moment, okay, or higher. So I haven't heard this phrase in a long time. Why aren't you just one note? And you are, and you know what music is, and they're all those frequencies, A's and B's and C's and D's and E's, these are notes. And there's a certain amount of notes that is just to represent the frequency of you being a physical of their emotions. They don't want to think. They are just this big ball of energy going on in the inside in the body's consciousness. And then their head, they're like, I don't entertain that. Or you pushed my button, you made me mad. Then they're only going to be really firing C's and a B and maybe a D. But the rest of it, they don't want to entertain with their frequency notes. And so they'll be the type that don't know how to process. So that's the thing is that they learned as a child to shut it off, not know, wasn't given the tools. Their soul is on the growth. Okay, what is it if we just cut out the yin and we're only yang? What do we do? So we have a varieties of different variables of what kind of human we choose to be. We've come a long ways now that it's not about just being human. In this 5D world, it is about a spiritual human. I'm not talking religion. Not talking about going to church. You can if you want. You don't have to. Contemplating and going inside. And when you contemplate through not ego, but through your spirit, meaning that we gave it, the meaning translates into a chemical peptide of emotion These emotions that I can read are usually the ones that are negative, because those are the ones that you took your personal life force power, gave it to a reactionary response of learning how to self-preserve, and you gave it a certain amount of energy to keep that alive. Why in the hell would I want to keep my traumas alive? Let me ask you a question. What do you lead with? Hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, I got a story to tell. You can talk about your story, but if you talk about your story without resolving it, then you're just wiring your brain. You're firing and wiring your brain to constantly keep repeating. So the energy cord goes out, tells the universe this is what we want. We keep manifesting it more back. And then we talk out of our head that's like, oh, I'm all spiritual. But you haven't integrated the two halves of yourself. So you can both be awake and asleep at the same time. To some degree, look at other people and say, well, and then still treat others as its. If I didn't respect Amy and love Amy the way that I do, and I didn't put meaning to our relationship, she would be an it. Oh, she's just the moderator, people. Ignore her. She doesn't have any quality. Bullshit. She has a lot of qualities. Okay. A lot of times we forget that we have them ourselves. So we look outside ourselves to get that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's how we're choosing to use our notes. It's how we're choosing to use to grow, to awaken, to evolve. Okay. It's very important to begin to understand a little bit more about you, because you're not just human anymore. You're getting to meet and greet your soul. You're meeting your higher self. The more you cut your higher self out, the more is only singing one note. You become monotone, and it just really puts the boring into your life. And it's a lot about, it's not complaining about people, but it's a lot about understanding your patterns. What are you trying to avoid? And a lot of people will be running to freedom, but because of their fears, all of the programs that happened when they were little, they have to do away from. They reach out, they want it, but because, oh my God, I have to do longing. That's an emotion. I have to do forlorn. That means you'll never reach the goal, because these emotions in manifestation have to come first. They're written in your GPS, your guiding point system. It is your higher self says, well, you are guiding what you want to do. It's programmed. Okay. People don't understand it. Oh God, I don't know. On a scale from 0 to 10 and I'm angry, I don't know. And a lot of times we don't want to admit. We shut them off because we had a cope, or we create a symptom so we can't go there. So it's arrested development. And you're meeting who you are. When you look at those things, those blockers, it doesn't mean that's the end of the world and you can't fix it. What does it mean? It means that you have a chance to say, wait a minute, through your heart, through your gut, through your spirit, I see a pattern. You're just stroking your ego, and I'm not going to go there sexually as far as to do a metaphor, but I'm sure you can come up with some really good ones. Now, there's nothing wrong with beautiful feedback of love. Oh, she's just stroking your ego. No, here's the thing. I have to live through ego to create my consciousness into a physical form called I'm giving ownership to the emotions to tell me how I'm created meaning with my ego about a particular subject. But you can resolve to evolve that. Health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health can be resolved to evolve. There is no panacea. You are the panacea. You need to become a sustainable human. How? By becoming a spiritual human, by tapping into this is how I define my world. This is what I do. There's more to life than this. And, some of you will wake up with an urge. Some of you will just be searching. You're not even sure why. Some of you, but it's the way we process of our motivation. Your spirit all of a sudden will increase your motivation to want something, and you don't even know you want it or what you're doing, but you're seeking. I saw that little thing too. Some of you are going to go, oh my God, did you see that? Yes, there was an orb. It had to make its appearance on camera. Just now, those little camera hogs need to go over there. They stay over there. It's good to see all of you. So I can talk intense, but I want you to wake up and learn how to see the mirror, to learn how to live life through a live meditation. Meditation is that way that you take and your brainwave be able to pick it up on a signal, okay, inside your mind, inside your brain, inside that spiritual part of you. You get to, your vibration changes from high beta to beta to learning how to be in your spiritual mindset, activating all of those parts of you that can see spirit, creating abilities, do whatever it needs to do. And there are so many of you that are waking up that don't have any abilities you think of, but you do. Because you are meant to stand and help create a whole new earth too. You have your unique voice that's going to tap into other people that are just like you. And you're going to show them the way out. You're going to be able to move in such a way that you will not just be one note. Oftentimes I feel like I'm one note. Oh, she keeps preaching the same thing. Ah. Some of you need to hear it more. Some of you need to get seeds planted. Some of you need to move into a different direction. But either way, you're moving into a space with us. And we can help you get to where you're going because we have been there. And we're still there. Now, the dark night of the soul is not fun. And to get to your higher self, to do a communication, the first thing you really need to do is to heal your health. Now, Amy, you know, Spirit's going to put you on the spot.
Yes.
You kind of felt that the moment that we started. So I'm going to ask Amy, but you know, I'll be patient. When I say heal your health, what have you learned so far? And it's not about showing stupidity, okay? That's ego. I want to be able to see if she's grasping the new frequency. And can she apply that to her world? So not only can you know, what does it mean, you know, to heal your health? First of all, what is health? And have you used tools to help you heal your health?
Yes, I have used many tools to help heal my health.
Ooh, yes, do tell.
The health it can be a cat scratch for, you know.
Simple, yes.
It can be, you're saying, how can be anything? How can be everyday life?
Yes.
When it goes wrong.
Exactly. So it's not just about external. It's not just about the physical. Trying to use my RTJP to think what she's thinking because everybody has one. Oh, well, what if she's thinking that I'm a mean person? Blah, 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 blah. That can be a hell. A hell could be the emotion. Now, here's something very important. Your brain, you need your brain. You need your brain to be healthy in order to function, to have a great life, to have a great healthy body, to have a great spiritual life. When your brain is off energetically, okay, it can set off an emotional chain event like depression. So we're going to move just that quick. And I moved everything around people so much so that I've covered, please, if I'm going to do it. Seriously. I lost it. Okay, so what I need you to do, and that's fine, I don't need visual. And I'm just going to test Amy real quick. Okay, so Amy is, polarity's not polarity. It should be nice and swoosh. So it flows like fluidity. And it's a 1, 2, I needed a 10. Get her going. I want you, now if you're pregnant out there, don't rub this point. Take this point, you know where it is, good 30 times on each side. And we're just going to have her do that real quick. So now that I've been using all of my energy tools, and I'm not correcting myself like I've been able to for the last, how many years I've been doing this. I'm like, what? And it boiled down to, is my right communicating with my left? Is my left brain communicating with my right? Is it to the point when I'm walking, your right arm and your right leg should go up and swing like this. But no, all of a sudden, my right and my right arm will go together and my left. I'm like, oh, now, little things. And I will notice that if I instantly started doing become not just pain, but for me, it'll show because sometimes it's just the brain. And you have to do cross crawl. You literally have to do energetic patterns to correct yourself. Now, Amy, let's just check you. Oh, yeah. So your large intestine meridian was throwing your energies of your polarity, which keeps you balanced, off. Okay. And they're doing a assess on the sciatic nerve energy. So just bear with me for a minute. So in this case, I would have you rub your K3s because it's important to be more organized. Aren't you guys funny? And it's the big toe, so it's the inside leg. You go up behind the ankle bone. Okay. And you're going to rub that. Now, sometimes it can be sore, and as her lips said, oh, shit. Yeah, I'm assuming that it has its own language, and so she's found it. Now, you need to, that's telling you to some degree that the energy to zing around like this. This is how your energies move. Now, because we're complicated and it goes like this, our energies are just being stuck. We need to zing it so they all communicate and work together. Now, that created an energy shift, causing her to yawn, to shift, and now my brain feels a little swimmy. Had I checked this before, that would have been good, but her brain would have probably said it would have been normal. Okay, it didn't cross. So now I'm just going to check while she's, yeah, that's really good. Now, Amy, think of an X. Think of an 11. She's frozen. Now, I'm just going to, I love you.
Love you.
Now your polarity is stuck again. Now, I can't prove this to you. Or if she was in front of me, yeah, you'd be like, what? Oh, I just hit the mirror, her mirror. I said, I love you. She says, yes, I know what you're going to do. Energetically, had she, like Marie, there's one woman we call Sonia that comes on, she literally can feel when I do those things. And I'll recorrect her, but I have to help her understand that because her polarity, okay, her body had an issue. Her energies were off, stuck, not moving. And to help you understand a little bit further, what's going on is that she's stuck. So she's like, well, I just would rather be indifferent to face the issues that I have every day. That's what keeps me stuck, is that's how I cope, handle, and deal. So I'm going to constantly put up with criticism as is no big deal. I'm going to fluff it off. I'm going to just, yeah, whatever. Maybe I'll tell my girlfriend, oh, he was such a dick today, blah, 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 blah. Or you'll go into gathering minions to say, oh, yeah. And then somebody's going to go, oh, I have one of those in my life, too. He's an asshole, too, and not everybody's is an asshole. But the point is that we do collect them. And it's not just ours. It's just that when people piss us off, and a soul will raise its head later. Your body says, I have to cope, handle, and deal with life because I don't know how to cope, handle, and deal with life. And now that was she's going to physical energy she's going to take and she's going to give out to solve the issue, and she's going to create spiritual debt because eventually she's going to have all these issues that she's going to keep giving. You got nothing left for yourself. Her body trying to cope, handle, and deal with whatever it was that affected her. Okay. She created an indifference. She's done her best to, as her brain is trying to communicate and cross, the issues in her body are going to constantly show up. This is why sometimes we can't get over a physical issue. And she had, how many years ago? Cancer?
In August, it will be 27 years ago.
So in 27 years ago. And like I said, her cancer is
ovarian.
And it was ovarian, and it was going to be an issue, but it's not going to be anymore. She's taken 27 years to say, I licked it, I whatever you want to call it, kicked it, whatever. The point is that that's never come back. So that means she's learned how to adapt and learn how to get her body to say, no, my will to live is stronger than my will to, go. She's learned how to cope, handle, and deal with a way of living. Her brain is trying to say, no, everything's good. But in the meantime, she's got sciatic nerve pain. She has diabetes issue. And a lot of it, when the tools that were used to help fight off the invading tissue issues, her body did its best to recorrect because of the environment it's in. So when you get placed into a new environment, can you cope, handle, manage, deal, pacify? How do you adjust? And even something, they have an actual chart of daily stresses, and they measure those daily stresses. Getting a divorce is very high on the list of stress. All I want to say is it's a very comfortable, loving environment, but I hadn't healed my triggers. So my triggers would be firing and wiring inside, causing me to take this comfortable environment and waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because even though I've changed and I've grown, I hadn't healed the roots. I hadn't healed the... back that away.
Yeah.
Vicky, am I supposed to just... Is she here? Because good God, I feel like I'm supposed to be teaching her, or, yeah, I've just given a signal or something. Something. Give me back my cord. Getting back to Amy, the point is that her hormones are going to be off. Hormones. And according to how women, and I'm not sure, I haven't really investigated men yet, but how women, when our hormones are off, especially menopause, gets to show you a big ass deal. It can be very interesting. I mean, like this mysterious pain for a person that works through and to have, that's where the investigation of the brain for me has come in. You need to have your pain, your cross. So as if I have her body is going to say, well, what about these old programs? Now, consciously, she's going to say, screw it, but then your body knows you so much better than it knows yourself, because your body's consciousness stores all of the shit that you do happen in your life. So you have your subconscious mind that runs everything and remembers everything, but your body's consciousness holds the programs that you create. And then the body's consciousness resets everything so everything can try to get back to homeostasis, even if it's resetting. So you have the blueprint, the original blueprint, but because life happens, then you have to create a new starting point. Even though the blueprint's supposed to be good and healthy, you have to reestablish a new foundation of, okay, this is my new world. We need to get back to the original blueprint and help the body say it's okay to become healthy again. I know that's confusing. And I know there's got to be a word for it. So if you know the word, please help me out. Now, Your sciatic nerve's going off because your installed buttons that you've had for so long ago, your soul is saying, can you heal them now? And consciously you're like, but I don't want to live this life this way. I'm looking around. It's not a bad life. I created a comfort zone, but I'm putting up with and losing power. So every day I'm sacrificing myself, martyrism, prostituting myself out in such a way that I don't want to do it anymore. It used to serve, but that's not, as I'll put up with dirty socks. I will do this and that. And you convince yourself, because at the time it's new and it's okay. But after a while, you begin to discover that, no, I don't need to do this. I don't need to keep giving my life force away and having to put up with this pattern. And it's not about the other person. It's about how your programs inside didn't get addressed. That energy goes out, and then you have people that show up as assholes, and we just bitch about it. So this becomes a very much a loop, a hell. Mm-hmm. And you will eventually push yourself to insanity to the point where you want out of that hell. Well, you're going to be fighting against all of your programs. You're going to be fighting against all of this because you're trying to externally change it, when you need to go inside and contemplate and look at those dark shadows, because they are not that dark to some degree. Some of them just need to change the meaning. Some of them you need to take out the emotion, which is trapped or creating the signal that tells you what to think. You literally need to start pulling the plug on this. Now, I would have her do cross crawl, but again, her brain says it's just a joke now, or it's just this, it's just that. You've learned how to adapt in your thinking in your world to accept to the thing that's insulting your soul, which is criticism. Your soul says, it hurts. I don't want to do this anymore. Your body's consciousness that says it's 2:00 and it's waiting for someone just to be mean. This is my life. Does this sound familiar? Mm-hmm. Okay. And your body even knows the time of the night. Oh, look, yeah. It doesn't have to know the time. It will know, oh, it's the season. It is this, it is that. And it knows the rhythm of your life, your body's consciousness. Now, if you don't think your body's consciousness have anything to do with it, I want you to go ahead and drop something and having to clean it up, pick it up. Your body's consciousness tells you, like when your pickle jar breaks or someone in the household breaks it and then leaves you to pick it up, your body's consciousness says, oh, look, it's time to bitch. We have not had our daily requirement of being upset and hurt. Okay. And the hardest part for me was notice that my body's consciousness dictates how I think and feel. I dropped my pencil and I says, and I stopped for a second and I'm like, wait, what? It's just a pencil. It fell. I can pick it up. It's not a big deal. Why am I making a big deal? My body says, but it hurts. I don't want to bend over. The operator and controller in this whole thing. And my body's like, you can do that. But we mindlessly do not become mindful of these little things. And when people become mindful, sometimes they don't realize that they can change the meaning and the perspectives of the way they're being mindful, and that they can actually take and diffuse these emotions that cause us to think, that cause us to react. And those inner world that puts out a cord and starts manifesting hell back into your face, because hell and heaven are states of mind. And you have the power to change that. Now, did you get any insight out of any of that? Or were you not?
But yeah.
Okay. The point is, when I give you deep information, now she got really deep information. That's because she's a student. But can she walk away with this information and even bother to do anything with it? Will it sit there and brew to the point where she eventually will take action? Yeah, all that's possible. Or can she step up and say, wait a minute, Brenda just said something, and I'm going to ask Spirit if I'm supposed to do something with it. And it says, yes. What's the key emotional word that I said that she needs to investigate? The word is criticism. How, when you don't know how you know that there's a certain amount of criticism every day.
Oh, yeah.
From you, yourself?
From myself, from
your kitties when they want something?
Yes, especially the kitties.
Okay, and human beings that you interact with, whether it's in person, offline, online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but notice her filter. Now, I just put up a meme yesterday of this rhinoceros that's painting portraits. He loves art. So he'll see a tree, paints the tree. See it to go indifferent. So are you obvious that, there's criticism, there's criticism, or have you just made yourself to be indifferent to the whole thing? You were criticized. Just saying, because your father's here. Now, you started to become indifferent at 6 years old because you learned through mirror consciousness that's what mama does. Mm-hmm. Mama, you saw how I handled that, how I criticized when people, it was okay, and this is your mama, I would criticize others because that's just the way you talk. And when they do it back to you, you just didn't, and you don't have to buy. But, and it made him angry. So where are you taking your criticism? You're putting it in your gallbladder. Creates a little envy. The indifference is that you suppressed all of this, and it affects your circulation, your reproductive system. So much so that by the age of 19, you started to develop issues in your tissues. And by the age of, what happened when you were 21?
That's when I had cancer.
And you didn't know that beforehand?
No.
So at 19 is when it started. 21 is when you discovered it. When did you get the operation?
I was 21 and I don't know.
Okay.
7 months. So
your parents and your soul just said to me all these things. Does any of that make sense?
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So with mom, she's hearing mom. I don't understand. Whatever, mom. Okay, sorry. Mama is I wasn't old. Oh, I know what she's doing, because you call someone else mama.
I called my friend down the street mama, yeah. And
would she, I look nothing like her. She's being funny right now. I've always was apart from the rest. Okay, that's the beautician, I think, that she's referring to, because she's doing this. And did she always have her hair done just a certain way?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Was it short and curly?
Yep.
Okay. Got to touch my curls. Now, mom. It's posh. Mama. No offense. She's laughing. But they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now that I've given her this information.
Yes.
But then I find some people saying, well, they hear those words, but they don't know what you're supposed to do with it. And then I will say, use tools.
Yes.
Why? Well, don't you want to resolve your issues? Well, the biggest tool that she can do on her own, EFT, but she has to do, measure it. But she's got to also take ownership of the acknowledgement, how she chose to react and respond to the child, not to hurt her child, but go in and talk to that child and love her. So she could do some child work. She could do hope therapy with me. She could do whatever she needs to do, but she's got to look what she did towards herself. How do I manage? How do I cope? She suppressed the feeling. And I asked, what feeling did you suppress the most? The erratic energies. Criticism. You kind of knew what kind of mood they were in, and you knew what they were actually going to start saying to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. So there's a lot of tools in the toolbox. You just go to medicinewomansolution.weebly, that's WEEBLY.com, and there's a whole bunch of tools. One of the things you got to understand is that EFT is great. Hope is great. But what do you do when criticism comes? You need to learn to pick yourself up off the floor instead of suppressing and taking in the criticism. When you suppress, you're suppressing not your urge to respond. You're suppressing the pain that comes. So that means you're feeding yourself other people's criticisms. So when somebody criticizes, you're like gulp, 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 or chew, 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 but you're storing it by using indifference as the straw. You're sucking it in towards yourself. You got to call your spirit back. Now, pick yourself up off the floor. That's after you already spilled your shit all over, your colors are everywhere. But during the criticism, if you can notice that, ooh, twang, and all of a sudden you can feel, this is my response, this is my defense, even though I'm indifferent. So here we go. Listen to the bitch. Literally, you're going to start feeling, here, you got to pay. Hold on, I got a spiritual debt, but I got to figure out note issue. And, so you pay notes. Oh, I love that. They're funny. Because I started out the show talking about how some people can be one note, which is a musical note. They can be one frequency, and that's that. But if you have to pay, what notes do you use to pay? Whether it's referred to money, money is referred to as energy, and notes are referred to as payment. So what frequency are you shutting off to give them so that you can keep that erratic behavior to stabilize? Because you only do that if your safety, security, and stability is messed up. So you're paying them by sacrificing yourself, putting up with it. And in ego, it would be fighting back. It would learning how to get independent, stand on your own 2 feet, bitch back, do this and that. And I'm telling you, you can heal this without using ego like everybody else does. You can do it differently. And now that you're following along, what would I tell you? First, when you begin to notice that you're paying, call yourself back. No. Get back in my body, me. Come on, me. No. We don't have to do this. Yes, it's going to cause erratic behavior because I'm showing up different around, and notice I am the one that's paying. I need to change this comfort zone and need to learn how to heal my pain, my twangs that keep me here. But the more I heal those, the more the company doesn't have to get hurt. You begin to shine. So you heal, and then you get to shine. Then you can literally say, from all the machine gun shit that comes through all the time. No. You're raising your frequency. You're healing in the inside out. You're changing not just your thought processes, but you're healing the emotion that makes you think the shit. You have to do peanut butter right then and there. And you can always do this. They won't know what you're doing. I'm just flexing my hand. This is what, if you look at it, what is it? It's a figure 8. When I see that when people are out of sync, or I'm out of sync, or whatever, I can feel it off. I'm just changing my frequency inside my aura, and hopefully I don't lose myself, but I can connect with them on a different frequency, but without losing myself. Do you understand? Because we inside of ourselves are figure 8s. Outside of our aura is a figure 8. And when those figure 8s are disrupted, it cannot have a good fluidity and flow. Do you understand? So there's several little things you can do. But first of all, you can come to say, oh, that's criticism. I suggest you go out. Like when I'm cooking supper, I start talking out loud. And as soon as I start hearing myself criticized, then I start doing a play and I start flipping the script. And I'm like, really? I don't have to believe in that. I take my power back. I mean, I'm doing a musical sometimes in the kitchen because movement and singing and changing the voice, la, 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 whatever. You think it's nuts. But I'm freaking out there healing myself while I'm cooking because I don't want my shit to go into the food to have to feed my husband or to feed myself the bullshit that I'm regurgitating. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So 2 words you begin to do: use your tools, heal your stuff. That's what I say. Okay. What's so important of what I said? Just sum it up. Sum it up. There's a lot of shit because I need to process. Got it.
Mm-hmm. That heal your shit.
That's the answer. Right. I have several people, and Sharon Gordon, then Michelle Bromley, and then Michelle, if you want to come in the show, you can. I know we have problems with that, so you may or may not. We may do it like this, and then if Damie will check to see who allow Sharon to come in, because you can pay and get an expedite and jump right in. So you ready? Ames, there we go. Hi, darling. How are you?
Hi.
You're looking good. You're learning. You're getting there. Yes. Was there something specific? Because they already have something in their mind that they wanted to talk to you about.
Whatever's on the books.
Good. That I know that one. It's comedy, but there's some truth in it because this is like her beliefs. So let's look. I'm going to check. Yeah. Now her polarity is off. That's interesting. And with your polarity off, it does throw off. Now, do you get depression sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That means you're doing homolateral issues. And do you have unexpected pain or unexpected things going on in your body that you don't know about?
Yeah.
It's because I believe it is the brain that's not communicating with the body appropriately because it had to readapt and readjust. So it's what you did towards yourself as well. Okay, so we want to, I'm going to ask Spirit, do you want to correct the polarity first? No, because the polarity is just going to go off again because your blueprint was this, but you had to readjust. How many times? At least 4. And which one do you want me to work on? So we're going to work on this one. So the very first one, it's about the action you had to take to survive. The action that you had to take to survive. And they said this one happened at 10 years old. At 10 years old. So you had to do something toward yourself, which means you probably set a self-imposed limitation. You've cut yourself off from something, and you have turned it in on yourself in order to cope, handle, deal, and pacify with the issues of. So what you're doing is you're living what's called like in panic. But what's happening is that the stress switch stays active, and which means this is like kind of like what you would call a PSTD or a PSTS. You know, it's a syndrome. But the point is your body goes into what we refer to as what we call it as an active memory. And it is stored, this issue that happened at 10, you stored it because you didn't know what to do with it so much you turned it into the fact is that you were looking for love, and all you got was the exertion of their power over you. Because you thought it was aimed at you. Was it aimed at you? Yes. And you didn't know what to do because it shot through you like an arrow. But what did you do toward yourself? They said that you went into an alarm, you can't figure it out, and you didn't want to be controlled, so you started to put up walls, not just over your heart, but you put up walls because you're like, I don't want to be friends. But it wasn't just to that erratic person. You kind of put it up towards everybody because your filter was, you see that. And they're saying this filter has to do with, I don't want to grow anymore. So there's your arrested development. You're like, I don't want to interact with other humans anymore. So you made the decision of saying no, and I want to just stay right where I am because I know I'm safe here. How can you put your foot outside if it's going to get hurt? Somebody's going to stomp on it. Now, this one person represents everybody to you. Okay? Because you're like, got to duck for cover, and you don't know when it's coming. But again, this is just the little you. And they said at 10 years old, this is where the habit got developed. And they said that you just would, it's other people, others. What about others? Have the power. They're lofty. Everybody can hurt you. How interesting is that? So everybody can do a knockout punch. And there's a sense of freedom. You're not really knocked down by that. You have that. I mean, you know how many women don't even have that, or men have what you just have there about with the relationship with money? You don't feel that it can hurt you, but people can. Therefore, right. So you grew up poor, but the point is in your mind is you're like, no, that's not going to be my issue. People are my issue. I think you saw your mother and your father. Now your father's here. It's an interesting energy because he showed me on the farm. He showed me something very specific on the farm. And he says he would you would watch. And he's always has to play niceties with mean people, lofty energy people.
Yeah. He was put down on a lot too.
I will be nice. I will do it. But, and that's the way to cope, handle, and deal, which is not a problem. But the problem is that experience you had at 10 and what you did towards yourself. They said you could begin to understand this because that's when you really became an it. I'm a nobody. I
try to be invisible.
Very good, because this says here, I don't want attention, but yet you do. You're an adult now, and you're like, God damn it, I want some attention. Where's my man? Ignore that. I'll just go a couple seconds more here. So they're saying that there's a part of you that has to understand that you're going to keep putting the energy out and gravitate towards people to give you the same story. If I ask Spirit, what do you want her to heal first? And that is how you you would then make me look like I had more strength than you. Even though inside you're like, put them up. You're like the cowardly lion. Oh my God, I'm sorry. You just flashed. Holy shit, you just became the cowardly lion. Wow. Don't you guys get the same hair color?
Yeah.
Put them up. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. I love Spirit how it plays. So we have to get your courage back. So that little girl, that little part of you at 10 years old, no, it's just a habit that you kept yourself safe if you just seen them as everybody's going to hurt me because you didn't know how to cope with that shock, which means we'll have to have another time to work. Right. But notice how I need to be invisible and I have to give them attention because otherwise, because you got these people that are running around, look at my, Sharon, look at my. I mean, this is what you see. You see all these people running around doing this. And if you don't look at them, they're going to say you disobeyed. Ooh, that's not pretty.
No.
Holy shenanigans. Anyway, so if I asked Spirit, what would you want her to heal first? And they said, well, just by getting this information has helped a great deal. Oh, my computer just shut down. No, don't shut down. I'm still, there we go. I'm still on. Okay, so.
Is that why my right and my left side fight each other when I try to walk? Because I haven't been able to walk well since Tuesday. All
right, so you have been learning to stand in the ring, but you have this great fear of judgment, and that's your 10-year-old self. Now, I'm going to see, could we do that? They're saying they want you to do cross crawl. Okay, and you need to do, I will send you the link. And if I forget, just say cross crawl and then I'll send it to you. Otherwise you can go to medicinewomansolution.weebly.com and look for, there's 2 versions, but I can't remember. I think I put them on one page, the cross crawl. And you'll have to do the homolateral one too, which is when you do the cross crawl, whether you're sitting or standing, depending on how much energy and breathing you put into it, it is learning how to get the left and the right to communicate and do that too. Okay. But when you do 3 or 4 sets, when you're done, you have to do extra cross crawls, even if you just want to use a hand. Okay. But you need to do extra of those as the ending so that your brain what you're doing is you're introducing, hey, you used to do this. I know. And then you do this, but I need you to do this. Okay. Literally you're trying to retrain and introduce and to let it go. You can say, I don't have to switch back to the habit that why it wants to switch back And this is where you're going to hold R1S, is because I'd rather be invalidated than have to communicate with people. Now, this is a very old pattern, but you need to notice. I want to stay invisible. I want to, so when you're holding R1S, let all those emotions, pictures come up. Make sure, what is this, indigestion? Hold on, I gotta figure out why yeah, your body's showing me something. It's like, but wait, there's more. Okay, so you have, what age is this one? That's why you showed me too. 17, something happened at 17. And because when you did stand up, you had great failure. So R2D, you began to have a voice, you tried to stand up, and that's when something failed. And so those two are firing. So, woo, my head is spinning. Yeah. Okay, so Michelle, did we get it to work this time? Even if we can just get a voice, that'd be great. So Michelle, we're going to look towards the room and see if she is anywhere. Her phone, this is what happens. I don't understand it. Zoom usually isn't an issue. So we then say, Spirit, why is this happening to her? Why is her soul making it so Zoom can't work? And again, it goes into somebody has lofty energy. And so somehow she can't figure it out. She has to go into these actual stages that I can't figure out. And then I got to pout because I have to go without. That is a particular pattern. Oh, now that's a switch. Because Miss Patty, interesting enough, it says you're looking for disapproval. So there's a part of your ego mindset that's jumping in and says, I have to find this issue. I have to find this issue. And I have to prove to myself that and so that means that you're doing it in ego. There is a part of you that resonates with feeling awkward and that you have bullies in your life. And there's a part of you that needs to have proof. See, there it is. See, there it is. And they said, please pay attention to this particular pattern because the next part of your body does impending doom and goes into a panic, which means here we go again. And you kind of almost can predict and tell how people are going to behave because that's just the. Are you looking at it with right and wrong? Who's right and wrong? Is it something that you learned from the past? No. Okay. We will try one more time. Amy, give me another email. Oh, wait. Michelle's thing's moving. It does not, there's not permission. So she doesn't have permission to have a voice. She doesn't have a permission to have something that happens. So hopefully you looked at the timestamp, Amy, a few minutes ago, because I started with Amy started with Michelle, and then we took that other, so there was some information that came through for that. Okay. Hopefully she can look at the settings. Well, we will take, and I will make it at a different screen while we're waiting for Michelle. So Amy, give me another 1 minute.
Okay. Kevin, he asked, is it possible to, okay. Is it possible to have the ringing in my ear to figure out if the ringing in his ears is related to viral meningitis that he had in October of 2019, or is it?
Okay, so that makes sense. So first of all, I'll get to that. Kevin also said, oh, my money relationship changed a lot for the better, but it can absolutely be ironed out a hell of a lot, tons more. So that's good. And Kevin, if you're ready, it's both. Your new signature is you're picking up the frequency, your cross crawl, your brain, because I noticed the frequency on the pattern and the earth is created. So you need to go to medicinewomansolution.weebly.com, look under cross crawl, and you need to do the homolateral one, the long extension cross crawl one. And you notice that as energetically as you're trying to expand, then the ascension, it becomes the issue. Because the meningitis that had affected you, your blueprint had to reset a new line to, to a different standard. Okay, I can't have my full health, so therefore I'm going to establish the next level of my health. And this is part of why the ringing is there. And we have liftoff. Yay! Oh, hi, darling. You made it. Yoo-hoo! Oh, you can't hear me. Do you have headphones? Do you have headphones? Do you have headphones? I don't have any headphones. Shoot. Well, we have picture. That means she's given permission for the picture, but not permission for audio. So that might be on a different thing. Sometimes if we have headphones, because if you have headphones to hear, controlled because it's a phone. Can you what's that, honey?
Her audio is trying to connect.
It's trying to connect. Okay. Trying to connect. All right. We'll see how that goes. We're getting there. One step closer. Now, if you could tell her to say, does she have headphones? Sometimes people can. Nope, no audio yet. I do see your picture. That's lift. She's getting her permission. She's finally connecting. Now we just got to be able to hear your voice. Okay. Hold on. There's more to the story. Spirit says she's not able to hear. She has to give up something. Her dark night of the soul says feeling overpowered. So there's something that's always overpowering her. Michelle, hi. So as I asked Spirit these questions, they said, oh, so again, I'm hoping Amy put the timestamp because we took a 1 minute read or 2 minute reads, whatever in between. But as soon as I asked Spirit to help you out, I says, well, what's really going on? They said, oh, it's about permissions. It's like, you have to have permission to use your voice. But it was also permission to see you. And so you're learning how to get your power back. But at the same time, then it was the settings inside of you. So I love how Spirit was communicating. Now that we finally got your volume, now before we go any further, how did you do it? Did you have to go under settings? Did you have to just look?
Yes.
28. You changed some frequencies to be able to connect in such a way, but you shut it off. They said, shut the timer on, Brenda. Oh, that would be very helpful, wouldn't it? Yeah. And so at 28, they said, well, you felt very vulnerable. There was a state, it got to the point where you began to panic because you're like, oh, I don't want to feel vulnerable. So your body started to panic. Now, when I ask which sensory system, they're pointing to the ears because every time you would expand who Michelle is, you would hear a certain type of behavior from people. They didn't accept you. Okay. Therefore, like they're saying that their energies would display to you through gestures and things, and you would see it as that, oh, Michelle, you shouldn't say that. Oh, Michelle, you shouldn't do that. Oh, Michelle. So what age,
I connect with Spirit. Psychic, I'm psychic and a medium.
Okay, so that's her job. What age did you jump into doing that?
I'm just trying to think now because I believe it's always been there, but since it's only been about 5 years ago since I started developing it.
Okay, now so at 28, I don't know how old you are, but at 28, I think
I'm 46.
Okay, so at 28, there's something to do with towards yourself in order to survive. You didn't like rejection for all this before you developed it.
Not so much mediumistically,
okay.
But I believe I had something there.
Okay, yeah. I think you looked around and you decided that not everybody's doing this. So you judged it and thought, I better not do this. Okay, I think they're pointing out, like, let's say you were watching TV shows and they were making a joke about psychics and mediums. But then I feel like you also was around somebody that you thought would accept that. And you kind of were surprised that was their belief system. Because all of a sudden now my head's hurting. Okay, so I'm feeling how your body is saying you watched how everybody could be themselves, but you couldn't really fully be yourself. And so you looked at people around you about do I have permission to be me? Now you're discovering who you are, even though there's a party that already knew who you are, you just haven't tapped into that because you were judging it based on their beliefs. Okay. They said the biggest thing is that rejection, you rejected yourself. Even so, when you would begin to trust yourself, that actually scared you. Why would that accurate information coming from me be correct? It must be wrong. It's like you couldn't allow that to come in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so much so that you made yourself an it. You said, I reject myself, but I make myself an it. And you lived in that world. But when you're 28, enough's enough. I'm important too, damn it. Now, you didn't know you put this filter of rejection toward yourself. So now you have to look outside and you see rejection for being yourself. Okay.
Yes.
And so then as you begin to fight and to grow chronologically, you begin to collect experiences of going, yeah, I can't do this. But then over here, you're like, yeah. And you become more of a warrior. So you're fighting without you knowing it against yourself program. You just don't know it's sitting there. This program does want to be addressed. And it says that when you get ready, notice is that you said, I didn't want to be paid attention to, but now I do because I know I'm good. I'm okay. I'm confident. But at the same time, you're fighting with your imposed limitation of, I don't want to be paid attention to. Okay. So for who I am. So you're wrestling with that. When they said you're ready to do that, you're going to hold L1S. Okay. Remember, left wrist, first position, nice and soft. And that's what you're going to do. Now, your reaction after you had healing with me normally is not something you would have, but you said you felt shaky or...
I was very shaky, like I was cold.
Now, and what spirit... I says, no, that's not normal. What normal response. So let me look at it. And it was you did not recognize yourself. It was very interesting. I thought, well, that's odd. But it's not odd because it makes sense. Now with this reading, it makes more sense of why you rejected yourself. Okay. I don't trust myself. I don't, I've judged and looked and said myself has to look like their beliefs. Mm-hmm. And now you're gotten to the stage of you're like, well, the original blueprint of you and how you had to live at that time. And then we cleared up all this issue through hope therapy and stuff. And now you're trying to live in that blueprint of you. And you're like, but I still don't quite recognize myself, because your body's going, but you're getting there. So make sure that you do L1S. Okay.
Okay.
You can keep me posted, girl, because
I sure am. I do definitely feel a shift since.
Good.
Really good.
Good. That's what we want. We want to hear you witness it because if you witness it, the universe is going to make. Yeah, I don't think you're going backwards. I think you're going to constantly keep connecting.
I'm moving forward.
Good.
Thank you so much, Brenda.
Oh, you're
a
welcome.
Blessing.
Oh, thank you, dear.
I'll keep in touch with you and let you know what's happening.
Definitely. And remember, always give yourself permission to have a voice or be you, to be seen, young lady.
Yeah.
All right.
Amen.
Bye-bye. Stay blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that was really good. I love that. Spirit is just hot today. Wouldn't you think so? Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to double check to make sure nobody else is paid. And then timed out warning. Oh, what's going on here? Well, doggone it. Okay. So now I've got to start all over. That's okay. We are resetting. We've been doing it for a good week now of really, because we had the transformation, and now we're just like, okay, good. No, reset. Reset is like when you have to rearrange your house. Give yourself that time to, like for instance, when you say, okay, it's like when you got to barter with life. I'll take $5 an hour, for working hard but how you get that is with grace and ease instead of fighting. So literally we're in a reset, and that's kind of like we're doing. So take advantage of the reset. Michelle she did a healing and all this. And now I think Amy's friends with her. And Amy, you said that you've seen that she's grown or energetically. You know?
Yeah, she's a different woman than she was when I talked to her like 3 days ago.
Well, see, and that's good. So energetically, people are starting to know this reality. Okay, and she's accepting it, and she wants more, and she's ready to trust herself. So therefore, you'll begin to graduate. And Sonia, yeah, well, we're waiting.
Made a mistake. Patty had asked a question instead of just
okay. What was the question?
Okay, you told me I need physical healing, and I wanted to do that. Whatever spirit feels I need the most, but I also fell down outside Thursday, and I really bruised myself up, mostly my lips. Are they healing like they should be?
Okay, this goes back to she's looking for proof. It goes back to the original reading. Spirit already knew that there was a part of her that was looking for proof of something. So the fall outside the realm. Does that make sense? Because, make sure you put this timestamp for her too, okay?
I did.
All right. So hi there, Sonia. Just give me 1 second. So again, when it comes to Patty, understand you have to put the two readings together. And there is a panic inside of you, and awkwardness, and therefore I feel like that's why you punish. Hello, Marie. How are you?
Hi.
She goes by Sonia Marie. I don't know. I just see this beautiful woman. Yeah, I'll just call you Sonia Marie. Okay, there you go. So tell me, what would you like me to help you with, darling?
I'm doing so much better thanks to you.
Oh my God.
There's a significant improvement.
That's excellent, and you're keeping it.
It's miraculous, actually. It's miraculous how far it's come.
Oh my God, that's awesome, sweetheart. That's wonderful.
Miraculous.
Now let's keep it.
overall, it's
good.
I just wanted whatever Spirit would like to tell me today. Whatever I need to improve with.
You got it. Okay.
To communicate today.
Bravo. So you have all of your creatures happy and joyful, those ones that hang in your house, hang outside, just excited because your energy is excited. And then they said that you're learning that towards yourself, you do not have to put up with certain things anymore just to feel loved. And that energy shifted. That's excellent. Now, they said that you have learned that when you're little, you wanted to, just like every other child, wants attention, wants love, wants to be paid attention to. It's part of our primal need of growth, okay? But for you, you didn't get the healthy paid attention to, okay? And so then what happened was that you made a wish when you were little. I just wish people would pay attention to me. Someone would love me. Hence, pop and do. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so by asking for attention, you've also, so that's where they want to go. Towards yourself, you've told yourself that you're supposed to have low self-esteem.
Don't walk with me.
Oh, you have low self-esteem because you're considered.
Everything was my fault.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the bad.
I was totally to blame for all of it.
Good. That's
so.
Now, as they're talking to me, they said that, okay, so the dark night of the soul means there is a particular habit in the ego's doing that it's not going to let go of because it's part of its comfort zone. It's part of its identity. And they're saying that you're getting ready to address this. And that is believing that you're worthless.
I'm getting very close to addressing it, yes.
Yes, because they said that you're ready.
Really hard to start addressing it.
Okay, so they're using the tool of that you have taken the price tag, marked down your worth from $1 million to 2 cents, and
worthiness tag yet.
Yeah, you haven't tagged yourself, and you haven't put yourself
there. Yeah, almost.
Yeah, you got it in midsection. Your efforts that you give, and you see them unreceived. Okay. So every time you give love, and then all of a sudden it's about how it's unreceived. So now I'm just going to find out, does it have to do with language? Sort of action. So, okay, so now you are competing with you. Interesting. Okay, so, okay, we're going to keep dropping the pendulum. Okay, we're not going to use that one, Marie. You are competing with you. The you that was ready to transform is competing with the you that had to learn how to get what was denied you. So at that young age, so a pattern's going to start to be shown. How did you use words? How did you use emotion? How did you use physical? How do you use any of those things to get just that small amount of attention that was not tainted with fear? Okay, so it's like, did you use words to convince people to give you something? Did you throw your weight around? Did you? Okay, so there's a part of you that has to notice that is your armor then. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to, is there more to it that she has to do? The self-reliance? Yes. Is there more that you have to? Okay, so you have with that self-reliance. So there's a phrase. Is that the phrase? Okay. So it is noticing the value, the belief, you gave it your willpower, you accepted it as your truth at that time. But it's now draining you. Energy of receiving, you can't. Yes.
The energy of receiving it is gone.
Now,
I cannot receive. That's my problem.
Right. Now, knows that it's not about us.
Doesn't want to receive. Part of me just doesn't want to receive.
Right.
I find it very difficult.
Right. So you're learning. So you have to, that's with you in your life right now. Okay.
Yep.
And
that's right.
And no matter how many times you try to do it, you're never going to get it from them. Even if they dead and gone and all that, your soul is going to keep asking, I want it from them. So you're going to put blockers up. And this is the part that your heart is ready to address. It says that you need to heal that. So you're going to do L1D. So when you get off here and you can get time, you're going to hold L1D, and you're going to address in your mind how you know that your love was unreceived, no matter what you did.
Okay.
And that person or persons, because I feel like it could extend, is that you are forever, you need to do cross crawl. And, go to my site, medicinewomansolution.weebly.com, and get the cross crawl. And if you can't find it, then connect with me or Amy and we'll get it to you. But do the healing and then do that cross crawl energy, okay?
L1D. Right?
Yep. Left wrist, first position, nice and deep. And remember, whatever comes to you as you're trying to do this, you just wanted time for yourself, but no, you have to pay attention to them. Or when you wanted to receive love from them, all they could give you was their annoying self, okay? So there was a part of you that rejected everything. All right?
And just with that,
Yep, so just start. You can do it, okay?
Even if I feel that. I need to feel that to heal that.
Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, I love you. Then we could take that 20 minutes or so, and I could walk her through all those steps. Sometimes it could be a little bit more than 20 minutes, and some energetically, she might have done it quicker. We don't know. We just know that this is a big ass one because her heart, it's not just a heart wall. Okay. She set up parameters. She created, based on this little girl and her responses. So, grace and ease for Marie. Sonia Marie. No, it's the way the volume comes through your computer, and no matter how slow or how good it is, it has a lapse. It has come in.
Virginia Flores, any advice this week?
Any advice, Virginia? watch out for erratic behavior, because you're going to, as soon as erratic behavior begins, it's take offense, oh yeah, or take it out on you. Okay, you need to really understand how this energy just throws you off and makes your energies become homolateral, which means the right brain controls the right and the left controls the left. That's very unhealthy for the body. Because of the relationship of the erratic energy, they said you're going to need to learn how to, this is where you need to do the Celtic weave, maybe connecting heaven and earth. You need to separate it. They set yourself in a different way because you have protected yourself in such a unique way in years past that the new you that's emerging has to learn how to protect yourself differently. And if your protective self is to fight back, no, take your energy back. Darkness, I'm assuming, is a program from the ego. When the ego has the program, you created it within the ego, you're coming out of it. Okay, next.
Jennifer Ferguson, will my ex Greg call or text me soon?
Okay, so remember to timestamp this, please, Ames. So as I'm looking, I see Danny's here, but we're going to finish up on this, and then okay. So the thing is that, remember, when you're waiting for a person to what do you call it? We'll be right with you, Danny. When you're waiting for a person to call you or any of this stuff, you're understanding you're putting your worry and your fear, and you're putting the energy out to the universe to answer the worry and fear. And we're going to say, to answer that question beyond your worry and fear, so you don't have to see that you're right, is that you have to understand you deserve love. And once you begin to understand you deserve love, then, and instead of putting that, oh, I'm going to do something wrong or worry, then what you're going to do is that you start healing that out. It's going to change you into, this could be the one. And in a way, how you get into the person that you love, or the person can love you back, is to notice the energies about how you engage. If you engage into the aspect of worry and did I do something wrong, then that's the little girl that sat there and looked at life and say, because somebody was mad, and you're like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? And instead of learning the steps, you had to learn it that way. Miss Danny, you have made it into the room, girl. And now I'll unmute you. And Danny, hello.
You know how long it took me to realize that I had to change my sound setting on Zoom instead of my computer right now?
Was it something I said to Michelle?
I'm sitting here and I'm like, why?
The rest of the girls, when we do an impromptu class, we have to make sure that those that don't get it, we kind of message them directly so they can talk to the girls, because I had to have feedback. And I said,
Yeah, obviously,
I needed feedback. And so the next thing I know, we're having this, and then and Spirit's going, ha, 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 you're going to teach the girls, because they were saying, I want class. And of course, I heard the majority rule of everybody saying, I want class. I miss class. And Spirit put me in the position. And God loves me for that.
My messenger, just for some reason, will not show up on my notifications.
I'm assuming it has another permission again.
I've been going through, I checked everything 5 times over, and it's done since it's a Chinese brand. It's called
sorry. I'm not going to be able to help you with that, but it's going to be one of those darn permissions again.
Because why make things easy?
Well, it was in their mind. You just locate and follow the pyramid there. What can I do you for, exactly, sweetheart?
I thought that we went through and we either pretty much or we did heal this out, but I am still having issues where I am petrified of the weirdest things.
Yes. Okay. Remember, you have layers upon layers of collecting proof and shit in hell about these particular things that you've done since a little girl. So, even though one got this proof we got to look at, let me get my book out. Oh, and in this case, in the book, when I was 1 year old, I said to myself, I can't be loved. Was that true?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for this little black book. We just wish it was of
just a little easier to access might be nice.
So what's funny is not only do you have the Akashic records, but you have a little black book. You handed me this little black book, and it's scribbled in there the different ages. So if I flip through, I can see all the proof because your handwriting is improved to the point where now you're an artist. I mean, I really wish I could show you what I'm seeing. Okay.
I wish I could see some clean handwriting because I don't got clean handwriting.
Well, they're showing, then they must be showing you the ages of who you are. That's all I got.
Apparently.
Okay.
I wish I had nice handwriting. That would make my life like 10 times easier.
All right. So we're talking about pride issues. People in your space would have pride issues, and these people have lots of pride. And when their ego get hurt, then you'll see it. You'll know it because it comes wounded. Well, what do we do as a child? We do mirror consciousness. We copy, and we think this is what life is. As you started to age, you again collected a lot of proof according to these pages. There's not like 3 or 4. This is a little thick Bible.
I have a testament.
Yes. Yes. So as I'm looking through, they said that prideful people get hurt easy. Oh, really? So I have to ask your soul, do you see yourself because of people and how they do stuff? You were supposed to look at your work and go, and she's a great artist, people, but she'll look at her work and go, oh, that's great. Don't let anybody know. I think it's great. Oh. And then all of a sudden your vulnerability. Oh, wait, I think Brenda might like this. And I go, yeah. And you're like, oh, wait, I know how to take that. Hold on. Just a minute. Was that good? Was that good? Oh, God. Oh, she said it again. Oh, yeah. But do I accept it? Well, other people notice that I accept it. I feel dirty taking good stuff in. I feel dirty. Oh, somebody's looking at me. Don't notice that I took in some goodness because I don't want you to have it. Does this sound about right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nervous system is like, okay, it's stuck. So just breathe in.
I'm not here.
Yes, you're hiding. So breathe in. Try to bring the shoulders down. Open it up. Okay, put your head back in alignment where it needs to go. Okay. Oh, but my God, we don't need you to hyperventilate because there's a part of you that says all of a sudden, like, wait, what? So then notice how her panic is in her chest because now my energy is like, okay, got stuck. And so now it's like, you mean energy can move through? Yes. And that means that your brain is now doing homolateral. How interesting. Okay, so it must be homolateral day. So you will need
first.
Well, your brain has always been off. I'm sorry. Don't take offense to that.
It's true. It's true, though. We've known this.
Okay, but so here's the blueprint. La 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 la. This is how Danny is meant to be designed. But you duplicated yourself of a new blueprint with different standards. How many times? According to this, 9 times.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means hence why your physical body acts the way it is, the way your life is. And we're going to address the fact is that you feel, the more inefficient you feel, the more safer you feel.
You can't get yelled at if you just don't do it.
Right.
Can't fail if you don't do it.
But now your chronological age is saying, come on, sweeter cheeks, you got to be old enough to do your homework. I mean,
exactly. That's actually what this is all about. I haven't felt like I can't do my homework. And now it's just, this is the last day. I've already gotten a 2-week extension and I'm staring at the screen going,
there you go. We're going to heal that out. I don't know what I'm doing because you're very much insecure. So you're going to hold L1S. So you're going to write that down. Say, I got to hold L1S and notice the insecurity. You're also going to end up holding L1D because you have the fear of extreme mirror consciousness. Or I'm going to get somebody that's going to have hurt pride and hurt me. Look at her face. She knows. So L1S and L1D will be it because the thing is there's a part of you that says, hi, my name's Danny and I want to be played with. I want to talk and I want to get somebody to pay attention to me. But the little girl, when she got her response was, and that's where she got stuck because it's like she
What?
wants to reach out for love, but love will come back to kick her in the ass. So love equals pain. And we have got to change that association, young lady, because when's it coming? When's it going to come? You're waiting for not just one shoe to drop, but because you've done it 9 times, you're waiting for 9 shoes to drop. So that's a lot of freaking shoes.
We'll figure it out sometime. Well, I mean, 18 shoes to drop.
Yeah, because you got a pair.
Pairs.
So
That's a lot of shoes.
you're going little steps at a time. Be proud of yourself. You've taken a big shove because you had 12 times that you've had the same response to the erratic energy, because the erratic energy wasn't just once and at this level. It got worse and worse and louder. And you're saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, except for
I guess I'm just going to split myself again.
Yes. Okay.
Why not? Because that'll work the first time, right?
Well, see, oh, I'm so glad you said that. Now, the reason that we're going to talk a little longer is because what does our subconscious mind do? It says, oh, I have to cope, handle, deal, and pacify this moment, and we're going to do this. Oh, this one worked. Wrote it down. Hold on, I got to write in ink. Okay, so wait a minute. How old did you before this? All right, so your 6-month-old self was the one that wrote in the big book that says, this is how you're supposed to solve all your problems. Just jump out of your skin and make yourself this. Okay, so now as 1-year-old appeared, and then the 5-year-old and all these other ages that come in, you then had to try everything, didn't work, and we're going to go back to the original one way, which was how your 6-month-old said you need to do this.
The 6-month-old, because, yeah. They have so much experience.
Oh, yeah. And so then your 6-month-old is trying to do the homework. Huh?
I don't know how to healthcare administer.
Well, there's a part of you that the fear of judgment, that when you do put down the right answer, it's wrong. It has nothing to do with that. That is, okay, that's one way to see it. Now let's look at the alignment way, the one that will click and the door will open for you. Okay. But you were not taught that way. And we're going to get you to eventually begin to help yourself to get there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Love you, dear.
Love you.
And thank you for coming on. We'll talk to you later, honey. All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
And I think that is, let's go into the next person. There's no more expedites. There's, right? Let me check. I probably can find it out faster because that's my thing that tells me. Every now and then, I'm not sure how you find it, but hey, it's good. Yep. Okay. So just 1 minute reads now. Anybody else wants one, they can. That's not a big deal. You go ahead and pay. But anyway, go ahead.
Angela Allen.
Ah, Miss Angela Allen. She has been, yeah, no big deal. And this is her life. This is the way she does things. Well, because you can make the decision of rejecting it. That's why I tell you to witness. And then she came out and I'm like, holy crap, her little child is like, look at me. Not only did I witness, but I'm growing. I'm like, I've never heard a soul just sit there and tell me this. And so then she paid for a reading or another healing. And I'm like, holy crap. I've never seen the soul. She's my first one that says, let's do this and actually do it and let things go so quickly. Just wanted about how you felt good about yourself, about how when you exerted your energy and it balanced and it felt great. And they're saying, do more of that. You're going to find out that's me, that's not me, that's me, that's not me. Oh, that's me. So your soul is waking up more into spiritual mindset than it is ego. So girl, you're doing it. And they said that, now the importance of the vivid aspect of it is to notice the sensory system that it is excited. They said the kinesthetic part of you is that's how you're going to go, no, oh, there it is. And you don't worry about tone. And then you're like, yeah. So you're actually, and visually, it has to be feeling like it's like in a movie. So your sensory system says, yeah. So that's what you're doing. You're honing in on that. All right. Next person, and timestamp that.
Is GP.
again, I want to reiterate that TP, we are sorry. Even though I put it in 2 rooms, that maybe when I don't see somebody there, I should personally write them so they can come to class if they wanted to come. It's not a requirement, but just saying. Sorry, TP. Miss TP. Well, you're learning to stabilize. That's good. They're saying that there's a party that's beginning to notice that I don't have to have self-abuse. And I can stop looking at things as disapproval. But they said you're beginning to understand the mirror towards thyself. And that mirror towards thyself is that you're done taking the action, just saying to the girl in the mirror, don't do that, don't say that, don't act that way. You're looking at the girl in the mirror saying, I understood why you did that. Now let's heal that heart, little one, because I got this. So you're learning how to communicate with that little inner self a lot more. Crying, she had to pout, but put her lip away. And nobody will see it, because if they stick out the lip, then you're going to get criticized. But so you learned. They said that you got this, though. And it is beginning to become an awareness of the criticism and just the self-talk and all of that. You just so become aware, catch it every time, and then you can apply a tool. Who's next?
Nicole Bangs.
Nicole. You know, every time I hear Nicole Bangs, I don't know. At first I thought it was just my stupid, criticize myself. My interesting association games that I play, I thought that was mine. But now every time I hear Nicole Bangs, I swear there's a comedy routine or something that's somehow associated with her every time. So is it mine? No, somebody's trying to communicate, because you just feel depleted. Your body says, oh God. And then sometimes so your ego there's something that I have to look at your ego and say, ego program, we're going to figure out what you are and get rid of it. And I think in a way it is convincing yourself that if you actually healed this out, who's to say it won't come back? Who's to say that it won't back? Oh, so from what I can see in your program is this sounds like a past life, that it's like, I'm going to get you. There's a part of you that has this little bit of a fear that somebody still has more lofty energy than you, and they somehow will reach out through time, space, and distance to affect you. And that's not true, but you were convinced. And it's looking at the convincer that you are meant to get rid of. And so we don't know exactly what it is then. Okay, just to let you know. Who's next?
Donna Wells.
Donna? That's a name. That's a new one. Sounds like. All right. Self what? Self. So you attack yourself. Self-feeling indifferent. So you've learned to feel indifferent towards what you want in life. And they said because of that, that has created you to feel like you don't know how to connect with certain things, or you don't know how to connect with what you need to do. And so it's like this broadcast message that you say to yourself, and it's like, but that's who I am. That's it. Well, your soul is saying, are you done with that? You done with that? Because it says that a certain structure begin to notice the trauma of world conscious trauma. This is not even yours. And so somehow the belief of how the world thought has infiltrated to the way that you think. So it's borrowed beliefs, borrowed way of looking at life. And you need to begin to notice this and go, is that even mine? Is that even true? Did I borrow this? And you can probably go, yeah, I can collect my proof and I can show myself. But again, when you look back at those, is it those moments was from those borrowed that this is the way life is going to be. That's why sometimes I just stay away from media, because whatever message it is they're trying to guide you to do, we're becoming to awaken to this so we don't have to. Now, the people that still fight over toilet paper in the produce or in the aisles of the stores may still get there. They'll get there. Next.
Brittany Lynch.
Brittany. Okay.
What step do
One of the things that I'm putting together, because you'll notice a different backdrop, is I have this board that's trying to come up with the steps and where you're at in your levels of consciousness and what do you need to do. For you, you have a step, and it's habits. And it's the habit of how you handle that you couldn't get a particular outcome. And you learn different ways to get a particular outcome. And you have to understand that these are habits. These habits control your world, so it keeps you asleep and not want to wake up. And they said one of the things that you have to notice is that somehow infamy, known something about bad, so start defining what bad is. Do you look at people and call them bad? Did anybody look at you and call you bad? What does bad mean? Were you a bad influence? You know, it's beginning to define. In this case, the word is infamy, bad. And oh God, that's true. That means you just decided out of your $100 to take a certain amount of money, and the more trauma and drama it is, the higher the price. You know, you got to pay for that shit. You know, if it's just a mild thing, that might be $5. But if a major habits, and your keyword, my dear, is infamy, about bad, and then heal it out, measure it. Oh yeah. You can do that. Medicine Woman Solution. She heard her name earlier. I swear to God. Oh, I know she's talking about me. Now, if she hasn't, her soul did, and she needs to go back to the beginning of the show because there is a reference that I can understand. Yes? And that'll be part of her reading. But I'm going to still give her that 1 minute reading just because I love that woman. Yes. There's a certain amount of impending doom. It is. Yep. Just start my day happy because I know what's coming. Now, you can sit there and consciously going, it's going to be a great day, but your body's consciousness is like, you haven't healed this yet part. That's interesting. Your word is dishonored. You have to be dishonored. And you grew up with that, and you've learned to cope, handle, deal, pacify, but as now you've got a great environment for you, then yeah, you may want to take it to the academy. Maybe one of the girls can help you communicate that, or you can eventually make an appointment with me. Hey,
She goes,
damn.
oh,
Oh, yes. What'd you say? I didn't hear that. What? Ames?
she said, damn, LOL.
LOL. Yes. Damn. Yeah. So it must have rang a bell. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Who's next?
Julie Knoll. What to do to...
My cup is blocking the thing, but there you go. There's the email. Send it in. Ask your question, and or just free read, whatever, how you want to put it. But now, Spirit. I see this happens every time. Her name is what again?
Julie.
And her question is what again?
What to do to help heal myself.
Now, what's interesting is that even though I did a plug, it shouldn't have been when I needed to do it. But Spirit said, notice that this is what happens. They're saying, notice how, you are, I hate to say these words. Have you ever felt like you were second best, or that somebody else in love with someone else, or they have a wound from someone they lost, or because how you're showing up is that you are supposed to be a caretaker, and how you need to show up in a very healthy way is to move yourself into the position of being number one. And when I asked Spirit, why does that happen? Because you told yourself when you were 5 years old was that you had to make yourself not important, because the trauma or the drama that happened in your space took and sucked the attention all away. Begin to just notice any patterns, begin to get that awakening, and then heal out any emotions that I may have said so that you can move forward. To go to sleep all of a sudden. Why are you putting me to sleep, Miss Vicky? Sympathy, dear. it's that relationship communication with these people, particular people that are in your space. They're asleep. So when you go to here, if you're vibing here, okay, your frequency and your vibes here, and they're over here, not to say that you're better than them, it's just that it's a different frequency, and you want that attention. You're like, I love you, and I want you to love me, and I want this to happen, but I'm not letting go of my programs. So then when they turn to you, they can pull you down back into a sleep mode. And you're learning that, no, I want to be up here, but you can't be the same person anymore. You cannot keep going back to being the same person because you're not meant to. You have to be this new person and inject that into their world. And if they stay or they go, that's up to you and their soul, your relationship. But if you are giving up on yourself so that you can maintain.
Pilly.
Miss Pilly. Hi, darling. Miss Pilly. La, 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 la. I don't understand it. Your mother's over here showing me in a charades that all of a sudden it was tip-toe on my toes, pull up my dress. I don't know what that even is, but she's showing me this. Now, I don't know if that means you have a little doll on a wind-up thing and it played music. Okay. Or if there was something to do with curtsying. I just feel there was something to do with that. Then they said, they're saying, let that soak in for a second. Okay. You appreciated and it was precious to you. My precious. Somebody else coming and goes, that isn't precious, and interjected their belief, which then caused you to go, oh my God, I'm going to be ashamed that I have a precious. I can't let anybody, because the pain that, Mama, you're funny. That's awesome. Okay. Next.
Nicole Byers. She needs to know what path to take concerning a family member, if possible, please.
Because that's what you're supposed to do in that program. But you are asked to have that person show up that way on a soul level, because then since they carry erratic energy, you're asked to begin to notice how you have to let yourself go into ego to give an ego response for these people. And that means that you have to give away your power. The soul saying, do you still want to do that? Because they said the action is that there's a part of you, I can't act any other way. I can't act any other way. And they said, yeah, what if they didn't exist? What if that would be a different way? What if all of a sudden you learn sleight of mouth, which is instead of saying the same thing, you got clever at noticing that you could persuade them to think differently. There's different little things that you can begin to learn. And the one thing that you need to do is get your power back, because you don't feel safe. So I would address how you don't feel safe. And they said that you are so used to contracting your energy around this particular person that it almost is complete habitual and habit to go there, even if you try to get out of it. I asked Spirit, what do you want her to do? To show up and to diffuse. There's something about showing up differently. Okay, next.
That's it.
Oh, wonderful. We're going to double check in the room. This is where you can, if you have entered the room and you want a reading and you don't want to email it in, you have an opportunity to sit there and say, me, reading, please. Now, if you have gotten a reading, thank you very much. But so we're going to just double check all three rooms. And again, if there's anybody that wants a read that hasn't gotten one, see, there's a Shayna Smith. We'll do that one. Oh, but the email came or sent, but sometimes the email screws up.
I got it. Our father that's passed in regarding a certain family situation.
Okay.
Please.
All right. So before I go any further into that, Shayna, Donna Lou, where's the timestamp for her?
2:01.
So when you get off, you look at 2:01. Now, the only way that you can get onto the show is if you've paid. I'm going to just double check to make sure that you have paid. We have not received a payment. Okay, let me ask Spirit. Do you want to not having to pay, but in this case, no. Spirit says that you wow. I'm waiting for somebody. So right now, what I want you to do is I want you to think of the person that you want to communicate with, because I'm getting a split decision and I don't know what that is just yet. You could be in split decision, but the people that are, okay, wow, there's some warm bodies in the room. Normally you can feel non-fleshies as being cold. They said there's a warm body in the room. So you have a, sees what you've done towards yourself, and it's a very active memory. And they said that active memory at 3 years old influences you about the thing that you asked. Now, if I say, well, what goes on at 3? And they said, well, it had to do with, in your mind, you're like, bad guy equals good guy, or good guy equals bad, or, yeah, but it is untraining yourself to see that you do not have to show up this way to certain people. Strong, your program is going to kick in, because there's a button, like what narcissists do sometimes when you, and then if you get really good at it, you'll notice that it's beginning. And then once you kick it and catch it, you can say, no, you don't have to fall for it. So you have an automatic pattern that's happening. Okay. Hopefully that made sense. And hopefully, Donna Lou, you've got your timestamp. Again, if anybody else wants to do any more paid reads, you've got a couple seconds before I leave. Otherwise, we can do so. If there is anybody else in any of these rooms that wants a free read, you just go that it was a spring forward thing.
Yes, unfortunately for most folks who don't like to spring forward.
Yes. So we may end up connecting more with people that get up at 5:30, 6:30 for tomorrow night. We will be back to do that. So this tomorrow night show is pretty much like today's show, but we have a Thursday show that's all about healing. We want to keep it as much about healing as possible. What does that mean? It means I do the reads, yes, but it's about using energy. Getting the body to cooperate and to heal those emotions is very, very important. Okay? Making those connections is great. Learning all that we need to connect. But at the same time, it is what I said to you today. You're going to go back and make sure you take notes and heal it out.
I'm going to do that here.
I noticed that her bangs are different. Her fringe is different. She came with them down, and now she has them old habits, yes?
I went like that and they went bad.
Because it's called muscle memory or root memory. Have you ever had your hair? This is always funny for me. All of a sudden, it'll be like, God, my roots hurt. It feels odd. I don't like it. Oh my God. And then I have to sit there.
Yep.
Okay. So understand sometimes when our personality wants to feel and be a certain way, you will make it shine out of your eyes, out of your face, out of your body, and even your hair, if you haven't noticed. So nonchalantly, you're like, yeah, I just don't like any bangs. See, I just feel like I look better when I don't have any bangs. Now, see, I really can change the way I look just by removing them, but I don't like that. That's how I see it. You know, it's all good. So I've double checked. Everything's good. You guys are great. Thursday, again, if you really, really want to do some healing, we're really going to dive deeper. I'm making a protocol for my husband so that if I happen to fall ill, then he can come up and he can say, okay, I got to rub this point. And if he's not good at muscle testing, he can't muscle test, fine. He hasn't seen that, but I can do this. So I can show him how to test for it and how to correct it. But since he can't do that and hasn't learned that yet, then he can skip that and go right into to just doing it all, which means if I hold here. So this morning, he woke up and he's like, ah, he's just like sleeping still. So he's trying to watch TV. They can't move, or there's some type of conditioning, or that they're elder, whatever the point. And then so I found out how to do that. And so as I'm doing it on him energetically, and all of a sudden he goes, so I stopped and I says, what? He goes, I'm nauseous because I'm overstimulated. I says, what? He goes, I'm trying to watch TV, but you're doing that. And my head now is like very awake, but swimmy. And then I says, let me check. Yep. He went right back to homolateral because that's what he knows. And it's like, oh, so that is good as coffee, but you can't have that if you're watching TV at the same time. It can only be one stimulation at a time. He says, that's interesting. So he just learned. So if we want to help him, I have to make sure everything's off, which I might test tomorrow morning. Don't turn the TV on. Do that and see if he still gets nauseous. So these are the steps you can learn how to heal. Yes. You guys have been great. Thank you very much, Amy. And notice that behind her, if you want a Bobble wand, she does. Medicine Woman Slew for me. And you want them, you deal with them. What is a Bobble wand? For those newbies. I would say I moved my whole room around. A Bobble wand is this. Okay. It is a tool. It is a Bobble wants to be a certain way. So just give me a second as I fix this one. And you can easily straighten them out depending on the type of wire. And then, dual wand, wanding. I'm going to heal you first, Amy. That's ego if you haven't noticed. Oh, look at, yeah. No comment. But that's what's happening to the energy. If you haven't noticed it, now it wants to, there it is. Oh, there's someone standing behind you. Energetically, this thing is moving. And you can see it dip and you see it pulling forward. It's pulling and moving. Look at it. It wants to go down. Literally, it wants to point down. So I have to look at the energy on your carpet now, underneath your, hold on here. And yes, I'm moving it with hand. No, it's hard to hang on these things. They fly out of your hand if you don't hold on to them. Ooh, something just shifted. We're cleaning out whatever it is that's under your chair. That's why the cat's been clawing you. Oh, God dang, this is a big one. Oh, now it's going up. Really, this is what happened? I think it's killed this one. No, it hasn't. But I find the energy very fascinating. Now I'm going to underneath you has been like holding you in place. Your vibration and your frequencies are changing. And when I look at this, which one's changing? Your B frequency. So,
sweet.
and they said and noticing that your mental bullshit is actually not over. It's actually balancing out. That's your father that says that he weighed you down and now it's time for you to let go of some of the pain. And he says that you, because he was the last to die, you really had a hard time having your parents die. But because he was the last to die and how he chose to die, you don't want to give that memory up, no matter how painful it is. And they said it's time to bring in the light. It's time to holding on to the thing that weighs you down. So is it because she can't get over you? No. So you don't have to face the petrified. But he says, baby girl, you've been doing that all the time. I'm not sure. I just have to pay attention to sound. Don't know if you can hear it on my end, but it sounds like a whole swarm of bees. Right there. It disappears. There it is. I'm asking the spirit, if you're making that noise, tell me why. Was something she was afraid of being swarmed. You're being afraid of being swarmed. Swarmed and stung by life. Do you hear that, bees?
I hear the bees in my head.
Oh, that's the same for Kevin. But the bees, now these are actual. Have you ever heard how one bee and then a bunch of bees can make the zzz? Okay, that's what I hear coming from your side of your room. Remember how when your computer, your camera, when it was sitting on top of the,
Yeah.
it was making a strange sound, and I kept saying the sound all I could hear was owls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what's doing it, but your spirit is making something in your house right now. Because usually when you have those big fat flies, you can hear them. They sound like you can feel how heavy they are. They're like, I'm really heavy. This isn't a bee sound or a fly sound. It is no, it's just a bunch of bees. Because I'm trying to ask, is there a certain kind of bee that we need to look at? And they said, no, not per se.
Michelle says it's loud.
It's very loud.
And I don't hear nothing. Except for what I hear in my head, but I've been hearing that in my head since I was, 7 years old.
Do you know when somebody wants attention, they hit that bell and they go ding, 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 ding?
Mm-hmm.
What age did she hear the energy is coming your way and you better behave, you're going to get stung? And now they said it has to do with their frustrations coming to get you. Look up bee. Well, of course, I'm not a mammal. Darn it. I had it. Now I've lost it. Bees. There we go. Fertility. This is a time of fertility. And of course, her cancer was to take her fertility away.
Mm-hmm.
Your father is not there by accident. He says that you had shut down. Oh, don't tell me what you just said. I don't know, but you were in a crossfire of a conversation, whether it was directed to you or if it was something else, but there was an argument about extreme disapproval from one person to another, and it has to do with a really nasty-ass comment to do with the ability to have babies. You shouldn't have babies and pass that shit on. I'm not saying it correctly, but I can hear this really loud, negative, derogatory, hurtful, meant intentionally hurtful comments like, Jesus, I hope you never reproduce type frequency. Being fertile again. Not in, producing babies, but to be fertile with your life. To plant the seeds, to let them grow. Know that with your touch, it's going to be your creation. Now, I'm not sure if he would have said that or if anybody said that. I just feel a very strong male that was just being a narcissistic butthead and said something nasty, and you took it as a truth.
Yeah, I can see him saying that being drunk.
Well, notice
I said it if he was sober.
Right, and notice how you took it in as literal of truth, because what you felt was the disapproval that whatever I create must be, in a negative word, if you want to put there. So what he said oftentimes would sting, hence the bees. And if he could say it, everybody's going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, you know what I mean? So just become more aware that if there is those pangs and twangs, they're saying that notice that you have accepted, that you believe that you're unworthy. Okay, now here, remember how Sonia had put her $1 million price tag down to 2 cents?
Mm-hmm.
You got yours down at free, and nobody still will take you off that discount rack. Even free, nobody wants me. Here, I'll pay you. We got to first put a price on you. And then we got to raise the rent. We need to raise that price so that you are. Why do they use this metaphor? Because it's about being wanted. If you're sitting in Macy's or whatever expensive store, I don't know any Hollywood stores, but you being expensive, you're one of a kind. You're worth. Somebody's going to want to pay that price because it's a gem and a half. Nobody else has got that, but you don't want to be owned either.
Right.
Okay. All right. You take your bees with you. I'm going to make sure that it's not in my own house, but just saying. Oh, no. Don't come back. Why not, Miss Ames?
Jason, there it goes again.
See, she can hear all this too. Yep. See, other people feel your vibe as well. You guys are all important and great, and I appreciate it. What is the what? Oh, Sonia said something that would be feel it to heal it. So thank you, Miss Sonia. So, Miss Ames, what do we like to do? Hashtag feel it to heal it.
Heal instead of deal.
Resolve to evolve.
You can heal that.
And together we like to say, and so then your neighbor gets it. So you're like, well, where's my share? Yeah. Stay blessed. Keep it. Love it. Learn how to give and receive. Over and out. Thank you very much. I love you. And you YouTubers, you're awesome.